everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and the craft/dining room. Today I am really excited to be kicking off a month of fantastic collaborations as part of Simon Says Stamp's Stamptember. Cathy, what is Stamptember? Can you believe that 4 years ago I didn't know what it was either? Stamptember is a month-long celebration of all things stamping. Stamptember features tons of releases throughout the month from some of your favorite stamping companies. They are fantastic, they are exclusive, and they do not last forever. Perhaps I can best explain what Stamptember is through song. Do you remember how it works in Stamptember? The collabs do not last forever. If you want them, you buy today. Ha, 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 da, da. Stamping in Stamptember, da-da-da. Collabs don't last forever, da-da-da. Buy before they go away. My Stamptember collaboration card projects are coming up next. Ha, da, da. Little hot. Na, 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 na. I'm sorry if I caused any pain in your ears. I just get so excited around this time of year. Stamptember, it gives me joy. And I'm really excited about these cards that I created today. So let's take a look at this exclusive 6x8 stamp set from Gina K Designs. This is a holiday themed set, and we've got some basic sentiments, some wonderful little snowflakes, a little ornament topper, a little string. I started swimming with ideas when I saw this set. So what I decided to do was sketch, and I'm going to show you my sketches. Now here's the thing, I'm not a very good sketcher, but generally speaking, I can come up with an idea and sketch it out, and it gives me enough of a direction to get started. And I'm trying to do this more and more, because when I get a new stamp set, I'll come up with like, oh, this over here could work, and maybe we'll use these colors. And this is actually the direction that I went in for both cards today. I just changed my orientation on one of them. So let's build card one. Now I'm starting out today using my Misty tool, my new Misty actually, and a Misty Creative Corner. And I've got a piece of Ocean Mist cardstock, and this is trimmed to, let's see, 4 1/4 wide by 5.5 inches tall. I'm using the Creative Corner so that I can perfectly position this and allow that large little stamp to extend the full width of my card and bleed a little off either side, because I want that to cover the complete front of my panel. So picking it up with the Misty door, and then I'm going to reposition the cardstock right in that corner just to make sure it's where it needs to be. I'll take my embossing magic and run it over the cardstock to remove any static or oil. And I'll use my embossing ink today. This is from Simon Says Stamp. Inking up the stamp really well, and then pushing it down onto the platform. And I'm just using this patented two-fisted technique. It's not really patented, my wrists have been really sore lately, and so I like to use a little Swiffer cloth, but any cloth will do, because then I can just glide easily over the Misty door and get a fantastic impression. All right, that looks great. I'm going to use Brutus Monroe Alabaster White Embossing Powder. I'll sprinkle this on, let that sit for just a second, add a little more, and tap off the excess. All right, I'll get my heat tool nice and hot and bring it to the paper and work my way across to melt the powder until it is smooth and shiny. It's so pretty, and it stamps so crisply. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? I love it. Next, I'm going to take one of Gina's Master Layouts 1. This is a die set she's released recently. And I'm going to use the smaller of the two larger dies to trim my panel down for my card front. This is the smaller of the two, and that's a beautiful cut. And then I'm going to take some white cardstock. This is Gina K layering weight. And I'm going to take the larger die to cut out a larger panel from that cardstock. And they nestle together to create this nice shadow layer. Now for my sentiment, I wasn't sure yet what I was going to do. I know that I'm obviously using one of the four, and then I thought, should I turn it sideways and figure out a way to stamp it that way? And I kind of toyed with that for a minute, But either way, I grabbed some vellum. I knew I was going to do some sort of belly band, if you will, using a piece of vellum. So got my sentiment and it's centered on the vellum. I'm going to powder it up again, just so the powder will slide off. Although I think on vellum it doesn't really stick at all. I'm going to stamp that down, just a nice, easy, light tap down, not too hard because I didn't want it to smush. Sprinkling on my white powder, shaking off the excess here, and then I will go ahead and heat set this. Now, it's upside down here, but just trying to be delicate with the vellum. I brought in my little wood board just because I didn't want my vellum to get all floppy, and this melts so fast on the vellum. You just have to be careful that it doesn't warp too much. Then I'll take a sentiment label and trim this out perfectly. Run that through my die cut machine off camera, but isn't that nice how you can just get a perfect frame? Love it. And next I'm going to take a little piece of purple tape. I'm taking some of the stick off just by playing with it a little bit because I want to gently tack the vellum into place so that when I flip it over it doesn't move. And then I'll put down a little bit of dot runner and just fold my belly band over. I'll give that a good press down with my bone folder and repeat on the other side. Press that down, and then I can gently lift off the tape that held that into place. Doesn't that look nice though? It's very subtle, right? It's not in your face, right? It's a very subtle look, very wintry, but I think it's really pretty. I'm lining these two up together, and now you can see that nice little shadow layer of white. For my card base, I've got some of Gina's heavy base weight cardstock, and I will score this. It will be a top folding US A2 size, 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. And I do like to tape my heavier card bases closed so it stays flat while I am popping up my panel. Got some foam tape there, popping it right up. And now you can see there's that nice shadow layer, but there's also a little bit of a margin around the two panels for this cool sort of tone-on-tone look. And to finish off the card, I'm sprinkling a few of Gina's dazzling diamond gems around the card. I thought just where the lines intersect and where some of those little dots are, I thought that would be a good place to put them. I have a nice odd number. And that is the finished card project. And it looks so cute with a matching envelope in the ocean mist. Oh, I love how this turned out. All right, let's make card number 2. Now for this card, I am going to make it horizontal. So it's going to be a horizontal USA 2. And I'm going to score it, but I'm not going to fold it. Okay, I'm going to bring it into the MISTI. And I'm going to put a little tape right at the fold so that I can mask off the back of the card so that I don't stamp on top of the back. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a cascade of snowflake ornaments, just like I had in my little sketch in the beginning. And I knew that that little ornament string was going to extend off onto the back of the card, which is why I masked it off. So I'm using a little soft stone ink, and I'm going to stamp down my first strand and bow. And once that's in position, I'll clean this off, take it up, and then I'll place my first snowflake. And I wanted to start a little bit off center because I knew I wanted to have 5 hanging. And I kind of played with this in my mind and thought we're going to start off to the side a bit. And then I'm going to just take a few Gina K blues. And this is, I think this is the Blue Lagoon. So I'm stamping that down and I get this nice crisp image. And then it's time to repeat the process. So placing that little strand a little higher up this time so that the snowflake to the left is going to be a little bit higher, picking one of the different snowflakes. And every time that I place a new stamp and pick it up with the MISTI door, I always make sure to reposition my paper because the stamps, when they're new, they're really sticky. And so you want to make sure that when you pick that stamp up for the first time that you position your paper back into the corner so that you know it's going to stamp exactly where you intended it to stamp. And that's it. The process, alternating some of my blues here with sea glass and ocean mist. And now I have this cascade of little snowflake ornaments. Peeling off the Post-it tape to reveal that perfect line right at the fold. Next, I'll stamp my greeting, and I'm going to put Merry Christmas right at the center at the bottom. Pick that up with the Misty Door again, reposition that paper, make sure it's in the right place. Powder up, and here I powdered over the snowflakes too. Dye ink does dry pretty quickly, but just in case I didn't want powder sticking where powder shouldn't be. So I'm inking it up with the embossing ink, giving it that nice press, not too hard. And then I will sprinkle on a little silver embossing powder. This is sterling from Brutus Monroe. I just thought it would give a nice wintry feel. And that looks great. Put on a little extra here just to let that set and tap off the excess. Then I'll get my heat tool hot and quickly melt that powder. Now, because this is just a one-layer card, if you have any warpage, and this happens to me sometimes, there's a little bit of warpage on this right after I fold it. Sometimes I just do this. I stick it in a book. I keep these books in my craft/dining room, slide it in, pop it down, put it under something heavy, and go do something else for a little while. I let it sit there for about, 15 minutes tops. And when I brought it out, it was much flatter. And then I was able to finish off with a few more of these gems. And I pulled out 5 of the same size because I thought that would be a nice bit of unified repetition, popping them right where the bows tie. And that's the finished card. Isn't that pretty? It's so simple, right? One layer, adding a little bit of shine, some blue snowflakes, and again, grabbing that matching ocean mist envelope for a beautiful finished card project. I love it. I'm also excited that I did sketches and they actually turned out the way I intended. Anyway, I hope you're inspired by these cards. And again, remember, as with every Stamptember collaboration, when the stamps are gone, they're gone. Bye-bye. Can't get them again. You'll find all the links below the video. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.